Hello, 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 boss playmates. If you hear any loud noise, I apologize. The TV is up in the other room where my mom and my daughter are watching TV. So if you all hear loud noise, like I said, I apologize. So if you are on my email list, you already know why I'm going live right now. Um, and also, the Wi-Fi here is not as good, so please let me know in the chat if I break up or you all can't hear me or anything like that. Okay, so if you're on my email list, you know I told everyone I was going to go live at 7 o'clock. I could not. I actually had a mother-daughter night with my daughter. We went to go see Sing 2. So since we did that, I ended up going late live. So I apologize. But if you are on my email list, you already knew that I was going live and we were going to be talking about traffic and inventory. So in the email that I sent this morning, I gave you all some tips around what was it? About marketing and, marketing basically is what gets you traffic, and we talked about your STR. If you're not on my email list, you're missing out. I give a whole bunch of tips, way better tips than I give on my Instagram. These tips in my email list are just for my email subscribers. I'm giving you information around marketing, traffic, how to reach your profits. We're going to be doing a Shopify series next week. So if you're not on my email list, I suggest you get up there because you're definitely going to be missing out. So I wanted to go in depth a little bit around in order to be added to my email list, you have to go to my website, which is ikenisha.j.com, and you just sign up for the newsletter. So let me see if I can type. Can I type in chat? I don't think I can type in here. I cannot. Why can I not type in here? That's odd. Okay, well, if you go to the description box of any of my videos, you'll see my website in there. So you can just go to ikenisha.j.com and you sign up for the email list there. Um, no, you have to sign up through the website. So you have to go to ikenisha.j.com and then the pop-up comes up. When you're about to leave the site, there'll be a pop-up that comes up. You can put in your email address there, or you can scroll down to the very bottom of the page, and then you can put in your email address there in the footer. So in the email today, we were talking about STR. So we're going to talk about that a little bit, as well as traffic. I'm going to talk about that a teeny little bit. Let me know in the chat if you have launched, because if you have not launched, you may not know what I'm talking about. But even if you haven't launched, I still suggest you watch, because then you'll learn what these terms mean and what you should be doing. Cairo, hold on a second, y'all. Sorry, if you're not aware, I have a 1-year-old. He's about to turn 2 next month. So he just busted up in the room and did something. So anywho, yeah, even if you haven't launched, still watch anyway, because then you'll already know these things. So when you start planning for your inventory and your goals and all that stuff, you'll already know what to do. So in the email, we talked about STR. STR stands for your sell-through rate. Sell-through rate basically is what it says, like self-explanatory. It is the rate of which you sell your items in a percentage form. And there is no like high or low sell-through rate, which I mean technically it is, but it's up to you as the boutique owner or business owner to figure out what is a high STR for you and what is a low STR for you. So a particular item could be like a 30% STR for me, but an STR which will be low for me, but for you, that 30% may be high for you. So it depends upon your particular business, how it's doing, what you sell, your prices, all of that stuff. So don't let the percentage amount, like the high or low of it, that's not a big deal. You have to go based upon your business. So if you want to learn how to calculate your STR, I let you know this in the email I sent this morning, but I will let you know again. So what you do is you look at the amount of merchandise or units that you sold. So let's say you were selling a blazer and you had Cairo, stop. Let's say you had, hold on, I'm trying to get something to wipe his hands, y'all. Cairo, wipe your hand. Wipe your hand. All that on your face. Okay. So let's say you had a blazer. And let's say you ordered 30 of those blazers. And out of those 30, you sold 5. So you're going to do how many you sold divided by how many you received, which would be 5 divided by 30. And then you're going to multiply that by 100, and that will be your STR percent. So you need to be doing this quite often because you need to figure out exactly what is selling. So not only should you be doing this for like the items, but you need to be doing this for your vendors as well. So that way you can figure out exactly what vendor you sell the most items from. For someone in planning, how many pieces should you start off with? That is totally up to you. I have a video about that. That is up to you. There is no right or wrong answer around how many pieces you should start off with. When it comes to pieces, you have to figure out your budget and what your collection is going to be. Your focus should be on learning how to get rid of it and not how many pieces you have, because a lot of people that I have helped, they focus so much on getting a whole bunch of merchandise and then they don't know how to get rid of it. So that should not be your focus. Your focus should be learning on how to get rid of the pieces. So figure out a theme for your collection, figure out when you're going to launch, stick to that plan, and buy accordingly. But I have a whole video about budgeting and inventory budgets and things like that. Kyra, you have to stop, boo-boo. All right, so what I was saying about the STR, you have to plan this. Hold on, y'all. I'm sorry. Y'all already know. Anytime I get up here on camera, Kyra has to act like he has to be in everything. Let me go back to that chat. Keep that back on the screen. Okay, so yeah, this is something that you need to measure often. You need to measure your STR because you need to know what is selling and you need to know what vendors you're selling the most from, because just because you think something is cute from a vendor, it may not be selling as quickly. Or you may have items that are selling quickly from a vendor, but the quality may not be there and you may be getting returns, or you may be getting complaints, or you may not be getting your return customers. So you need to look at exactly how much you're selling from each vendor. You need to look at what you're selling category-wise. Like, are you selling more hats? Are you selling more tops? Are you selling more dresses? Are you selling more maxi dresses compared to mini dresses? You need to look at exactly what it is. You need to look at exactly what it is that you're selling. So when you get your STR and you're doing all of your planning and you're looking at exactly what you're selling, that's when you need to go ahead and start buying and figuring out, because this video basically is for those who have already launched and are preparing to buy for this new upcoming season or buying for this year. Because a lot of people tend to buy merchandise when they see it, or because they see some other boutique, several boutiques on Instagram who are selling something in particular, so they want to sell it because they think that's going to sell for them, and that's not how it goes. You should have an inventory plan, and that plan should be based upon your sales, not trends, or not what's cute, rather. You need to look at your STRs, look at your sales, and then you start buying. So let's say you have a goal. So let's do that. So when you are, I'm trying to think of an easy way to word this, because I have a lot of people who we talk about this. We talked about this quite a bit in my membership as well. Okay. A lot of people have issues with their sales because they're not getting enough traffic. So in order for you to reach those sales goals that you all, I'm sure, have already put in place, whether it's for your launch, whether it's for a new collection launch, for a new month, a new week, or whatever that case may be, you need to know how much traffic you need in order to reach that goal. You also need to know if you have enough inventory to cover those goals, unless you have like a really, low goal. Stop, Kyra. Unless you have a really low goal. Just for starting out, just so it's something that you can hit and feel confident about. So let's do a little formula real quick. When I worked at Victoria's Secret, as you all know, I always bring up things that I learned there, especially if you all have taken my Shopify analytics class. Be quiet. If you all have taken my Shopify Analytics class, then you already know I talk about numbers all the time. And I talk about things that I learned at Victoria's Secret because they were really, really strict with knowing numbers and knowing how to calculate and analyze. And that's something I already love to do. So when you're trying to figure out your traffic, you need to know how much traffic you need, right? So get a pen and paper because this may get it's going to get a little wordy. This light is just glaring right in my face with my glasses. Okay, let me see what happens if I turn it off. Nah. Okay. All right, so let's say you have a goal and you want to figure out how much traffic you need to reach that goal. So what you're going to do is you got to figure out how much you need to make per week first. So let's say your goal, let me get my calculator. Let's say your goal is you want to make, maybe you want to do $30,000 this year. So you're going to do 30,000. You're going to take your goal. You're going to divide it by how many weeks are in a year, which is 52. So that gives us $576 and it's 9. So we'll do $577. They give you $577 that you need to make per week if you want to make 30,000 in a year. So I'm doing it in the calculator, make sure it's right. Okay, yeah. So $577. So now you have how much you have per week. After you do that, hold on, I'm not gonna be able to use the calculator now. He wants to hold it. So after you have your amount per week, you need to divide that by your average order value or your ADS or AOV, however you want to say it. If you have already taken my Shopify Analytics class, you already know this formula. You already know the terms I'm talking about. So, you're already good. But for those of you who have not, AOV or ADS, that stands for average order value or average dollar sale. This is the average amount that your customers buy from you. So you need to know this, and you can find this in your Shopify Analytics. So you need to know this because it tells you a whole bunch of things. And in my Shopify Analytics class, I explain to you every single box, every single analytic that's in Shopify. I tell you how to use it, what it means, everything. I go into great detail in this 90-minute class. So if you haven't taken that, I highly suggest you do, because if you don't know your numbers and how to analyze them, there's no way you're going to be able to run a successful business. You're not going to be able to get to where you want to be because you don't know what you're doing. All right, so once you have your sales per week, which we said was $577, I'm not going to be able to do any more calculating because he has my calculator. Divide it by your AOV. So let's say your AOV is $40. So you're going to take 577 divided by 40. That's going to give you how many orders you need per week. Okay, so I'm going to say it again. Take the amount or dollars per week that we just came up with, divide that by your AOV. That is going to equal the number of orders you need per week. Now, you have how many orders you need, but how many people do you need? You're going to take your number of orders, divide that by your conversion. That is going to give you your traffic rate. That's going to give you how many people you need to hit your site in order for you to reach your sales goal. Now, let's say you're not calculating for your entire goal for the whole year. You just want to do per month. So you would divide that by, 4 weeks, which is 4 weeks in a month, instead of the 52 weeks. Just replace the weeks with however you're doing it. If you haven't launched yet, you should still know this formula because you should have a launch goal. Okay? So just because you haven't launched yet doesn't mean you shouldn't be paying attention to what I'm talking about. You should still have a launch goal. So if you're going to do your launch goal for that week, do that. If you're going to do a launch goal for that month, you need to have some sort of goal, something to work towards, and you need to know how to calculate it to get your traffic needed for that goal. So now that you have your traffic and you know how much you want to make, you need to figure out if you have enough inventory for that. So let's say you have a $5,000 goal for the month and you know how much traffic you need. Do you have enough inventory in stock? Because let's say you suddenly go viral on Instagram or TikTok or something and your goal was 5K and now you're going past 5K. You need to have at least double or 2 months worth of inventory in order to compensate for a sudden rush, or if something happens, like a delay, like people are going through delays right now with inventory. So you need to have double the amount at least. So if your goal is to do $1,000 worth, you need to have $2,000 worth of inventory at least, minimum. Okay. Now, with your inventory, it shouldn't just be anything. It should be the right inventory, which again, that's where your STR is going to come into play. It's going to come into play with how well you look at your vendors and what you are selling from them, what you're buying, what is not selling, how often you're doing promos, how often you're using influencers, how often you're doing markdowns. All of that is going to come into play when it comes to your inventory and you reaching your money goal and your traffic goal. So if you're just joining, I've already talked about STR. I've talked about how to calculate your traffic. And we talked about the fact that you need to have at least double the amount of dollar amount of inventory on hand in order for you to reach your goal, just in case you surpass your goal or you have some sort of issue. It is always said throughout the retail industry that you should have double that amount in stock. So if you're launching right now or you're in the process of launching, like I just told someone else, don't worry about how many pieces you have. It needs to be more about you knowing how to get rid of it, yes. But it also needs to be about, go close the door, Kyra. Close the door. Yes, close the door. Yeah, it also needs to be about you having the right merchandise and how you're pricing it. Because if you have, let's say, bye-bye. Let's say you have a goal of what, maybe $1,000 for your launch, but you have pieces and you're selling them at like 15, 20 bucks, and you don't know how to get more traffic to your site. You're most likely not going to hit that goal. So if you have items that you are pricing cheaper, not saying you need to have a lower goal. Yes, you should have a lower goal, or you can have a high goal, but you need to know exactly how to market and how to get to that traffic that you're going to need to reach that high goal. Because if you have items on your website that averaged about 20 bucks and people normally only buy one item from you, you're going to need what is it? You would need 50 sales, which is not bad. It's just that if you're just starting and your focus has not been on learning how to market and learning how to calculate your numbers and analyze and get traffic, you're going to have a hard time. So, hi. So, stop, boo-boo. You're going to fall. Sorry, y'all. Why did you do this, boo-boo? All right. So if you all have any questions for me, you can go ahead and leave them in the chat. It doesn't have to necessarily be about the traffic and inventory, even though that is really what I want to talk about tonight, and because we're in a new year, so therefore people are setting goals, they're trying to launch, they're trying to get inventory together, all of that stuff. And quite frankly, people are so focused on the wrong things, they're not getting the sales that they want. So you have to know exactly what to focus on, how to calculate certain things, all of that, because so many people look on Instagram and TikTok and Facebook and wherever else and think that running a business is super easy. And it may look that way, but that's not how it is. There's a lot that goes on behind the scenes that a lot of you all do not know about. And then you may have people like me who are, telling you certain things, but I have so many people who have taken certain classes of mine, or they've done a one-on-one session with me, and then they'll come back a few weeks later saying they haven't gotten this and they haven't gotten that. And I'm like, okay, so what did you implement that you learned? And a lot of times they weren't consistent. So we really have to look inside of ourselves and figure out if we have what it takes to be consistent, if we have what it takes to learn new things, if we have what it takes to be organized, if we have what it takes to sacrifice. There's a lot. It's a lot. Okay, I'm not even gonna lie to you. I've been doing this for almost 5 years, and it's a lot. There are times you're gonna want to feel like, this isn't for you, or you want to give up, blah blah blah. But you should not feel that way if you know for a fact you haven't been doing everything you're supposed to do. Yeah, Cairo. So, any questions you all have, please let me know. I'm going to leave in the description box of this live. I'm going to leave links to my Shopify Analytics class. I'm going to leave links to my marketing class and to my, what is it? My boutique growth videos, because I talk about conversion and a lot of other things in that class as well. So I'll leave links to all of that. But I mean, normally all of those same links are in my description box of every video anyway. So yeah, I just want to say good luck to everyone. I want to thank you all for hopping on with me. If you're not a member, not a member. If you're not a subscriber to my email list, I suggest doing that. Tomorrow's email is going to be about, I don't remember. I forgot what tomorrow's email is that I have scheduled, but yeah, I just know that next week I'm going to be doing all Shopify emails. So it'll be Monday through Friday. You'll get a Shopify email every single day. I'm going to be doing a Shopify series here on YouTube as well, but they won't be the same exact things that'll be in my email. My email is going to have way more in-depth tips in there. So if you're not on my email list, you got time to do it, because tomorrow the email is really good. I swear I can't remember what I was talking about. I cannot remember at all what the email is about. But I did schedule these out like 2-3 weeks ago, so I don't remember what they were. But anywho, if you all need me, be sure to follow me on Instagram at royal_aries325. You can find me there. You can DM me there. Leave comments here. Does not matter. I'll get back to you as soon as I can. All right, y'all. So I'm going to go because Kyra's making this really hard. All right, y'all. Have a good night. Bye.